Let's talk big nativity. This is basically the deck I was able to use last year to win nationals, but it's supersized version. The last deck was 50 cards. This deck is 100 cards. And I've been playing around with different types of 100 card decks here. The most recent one I displayed on the channel was a 100 card silver and orange deck. And that one was based upon the discovery of using Temple Guard, converting him to silver, and then playing second seal on him to try and choose a blocker. That shell in silver was all right. You had access to a lot of great banding enhancements there. But I was looking through all the other banding enhancements, and there were 3 different white ones that could band all silver or all New Testament heroes. So we have Child is Born and Hospitality and Bethany. So if you have 3 enhancements, that's enough to maybe do a Temple Guard build around it. And I really wanted to see how a Nativity deck would feel. I've tried building 100 card Nativity decks before, but this one just felt a little bit better with the Temple Guard plan baked in. But the idea is we're really trying to attack the opponent's hand, using 20 shekels to play down opponent's characters into their territory. Then we're trying to get to Mary early to hit those characters. We can use John the Forerunner to paralyze people, and we can even use Redemption to convert and banish evil characters in their territory. In other ways we can attack the hand is by using Simeon the Devout, force him to underdeck, and Martha to force him to reserve evil cards from their hand. So if we can get a turn where we play an evil character down from their hand, see that they have 2 left in their hand, play a big banding enhancement, band Martha, Simeon into battle, we can really attack their hand. But why play this type of 100 card nativity deck instead of the 50 card version? You get to beef up your defense a little bit. Playing 100 cards gives you access to 14 dominance. If you have cards in your deck that gets you to those dominance faster, then over the course of the game, you're going to have a much higher ceiling for what your deck can do, what kind of blocks your deck can pull off. And the best defense that I've found to take advantage of this is the one that's playing Meek Lost Souls, plus some Herods, plus Prince, plus Judean Mediums. This gives you so many blocks. And the way we're getting to our dominance with this type of deck is different than Big Clay. Big Clay, we had Spirit as a Dove as the main thing, but this one we get to play the Annunciation, which helps. And then you also get to play Star Bethlehem. Most of the time you get to play this while you have a John the Fisherman or John the Forerunner. And this basically is like a crowd's choice to tutor a good dominant from your deck. So I'd say that maybe the trade-offs here against Big Clay, you have a weaker early game, but a stronger late game. And you also get to play Guardians of Your Souls, which is a good meta call against other big clay decks in soul high defenses. If you put this card down on turn 1 against like a clay deck, they're going to have a hard time getting back in the game. And one of the strongest attacks you can do in the game is if you push multiple protected heroes into battle with soul protection up. And so with the big clay deck, you could use the I am he purple enhancement to give your disciples and souls protection. Well, nativity, you don't really have access to that. You have a lot of access to protecting good nativity cards from harm, but you don't have a lot of options to protect the lost souls. So if you can just put down a Guardians, attack, play Star Bethlehem, give protection with Flight of Egypt, you have protected heroes and protected souls, and there's not a lot the opponent can do about it. So it has the potential to do that multiple times because in the reserve we're playing Coming Prince and we can top deck Star Bethlehem. Because we're playing Guardian of Your Souls, you can't really play Woman of Thebes in this deck, so we had to cut her. Outsiders is okay, but definitely not as good as Woman of Thebes. And it might look weird to play Burial and Guardians of Your Souls in the same deck, but you have tricky ways to get around it. So imagine this scenario where you've played early Guardians of Your Souls. You have a bunch of lost souls in play, but you have a Burial and you don't really have good blocks without it. Well, something you can do is you can go, Deceiver into Herod Agrippa. He says negate a card. You can negate your Guardians. It doesn't actually negate it, but you can target it. And it says if an ability targets this card, you can top deck it instead. So you can negate it, you can top deck it, and then you can play your Burial because the effect stops once this is removed from play. So that's one way you can get rid of Guardians to put your Burial down. Another way you can do it, Outsiders. It's a little bit harder to get off, but you can target that. Another way to do it is Prince. You can underdeck X cards, and they're going to have at least 1 good brigade, so you can underdeck at least Guardians, so you can top deck it instead, and then play your Burial. Another thing you can do is block with Balaam, grab 3 Woes, play Woes, negate your Guardians, bounce it, play your Burial. So you have like a couple different options to target your Guardians and get it out of play temporarily. And by the time you attack next turn, you can play it back down to where the opponent can't really use it to mess with you. because we're playing Guardian and Redemption, we have to lose a dominant slot that I really liked in the big clay deck, which was Harvest Time. You won't be able to play Harvest Time. I really want to play Harvest Time in this deck, though. Maybe it turns out Redemption isn't strong enough. I could see a place where just playing Harvest Time is better. So the deck is a little bit in flux right now, but I really want to practice Redemption because it's going to be legal for Type 1 at Nationals. I just want to see what the potential of this card is. And when you're playing a 7-card dominant deck, it would be really hard to squeeze Redemption in there, I feel like. It's really situational. I think it's maybe best in a deck that's trying to play hand control or a deck that's trying to use it as a combo enabler like I am. I really like this Nativity deck because you get to play the Nativity cards that you don't normally play with, like Anna or Simeon, but you just really want to get a lot of Nativity cards early, but you don't want a lot of duplicates over the course of the game. So sure, Zechariah the Silent is going to be better on turn 1. And so like you could play 2 of those instead of 1 Anna, 1 Zechariah, or whatever. So the combo we have set up in the reserve for Concealed Riches is we can Concealed Riches for Possessing Spirit, Temple Guard, Love, and Second Seal. We play Love on Temple Guard, convert him to Silver Brigade, and then we attack and we play our Second Seal. Opponent, we first get to ban all heroes in our territory. So it's a big ban. And then if the only evil character in their territory is Possessing Spirit, they must add that to battle, and that's effectively like a choose the blocker. We can do that, or we can use Falling Away to convert their hero to evil character and then do Second Seal. So we have a couple different ways to do it, but whenever you play a big band card and put a lot of heroes in the battle, topping it all off with the choose the blocker is historically really strong. And against Nativity, a lot of people don't play down their evil characters, so you can oftentimes turn Second Seal into a choose the blocker. And if they do put down stuff in territory, you have ways to punish with John and Mary. I really like this deck for Mary as opposed to other 100-card decks I've built because this one enables Gospel for Mary. Other decks, you know, we're playing a mix of New Testament characters that were not from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or even David, Heart After God. And so it's really hard to keep the unity for Mary going. But this one, it's pretty easy to keep it going. And you can get Angel of the Winds into play, Book of Hebrews, but it's pretty easy to exchange Angel of the Winds and then use Joseph to ban to Mary and trigger Mary unity after you exchange with the Gospel from your deck. Anyways, it's a little unclear to me if this deck is actually better than Big Clay or worse. I would say it has maybe a little weaker early game, a little bit stronger late game, but it's hard to beat the late game of Big Clay when trying to fight down a Simon the Zealous. But if this deck went head to head with Big Clay, I'd honestly give this deck the edge here because of Guardians of Your Souls, just how it turns Clay's strong attacks into very weak ones. So if you're expecting to see Big Clay, maybe you want to try out this card, which looks like a joke for the most part. I think when this was spoiled, everyone was like, okay, this card is really bad. And I dismissed it out of hand too. But as we've seen this last year develop, it's really become apparent that this card could be the secret silver bullet that people are using to gain the advantage in these mirror matches here, the Gospel of Christ mirror matches. All right, but anyways, we have some gameplay today, and we're just going to be playing against Jrob, and he's running a purple warrior / Herod deck. He's really practicing for regionals and nationals, and I've been looking for a playtesting partner, so we've just been running games against each other. All right, so here we are. We have a Lost Soul in hand, and I think we get to choose who goes first here. On hands where I have Prince of the Air plus Judean mediums, I really like letting the opponent go first because chances are they're going to use a search ability. And if anything, I can draw 2 cards with Prince, underdeck their lone hero, CBN, or if that's not an option, underdecking my Lost Soul. So this deck in particular, this Nativity deck, has a little harder time of getting Lost Souls out of the opponent's deck. It's not impossible, but it's just not as easy as in Big Clay, I feel like. You definitely have ways to do it, like Shepherds of Bethlehem, Lost Child Found, Star of Bethlehem to activate Lost Child Found. But for some reason, between Harvest Time and Bartholomew, it seems like a lot easier to fetch things out. I thought about running Angel of the Harvest in this deck, but I just have PTSD from the times people ban to Angel of the Harvest when I have no souls out and they're able to generate Lost Soul tokens. So they have a Benaiah. They did not use a search ability, but I will use Prince. He cannot be prevented to underdeck 1 Lost Soul and play a Fortress from my deck. The reason I chose not to draw 2 cards there was I had a chance of drawing some Lost Souls, and the whole point of that was to just try and dodge this turn 1. So we drew 2 Lost Souls for turn. or sorry, we drew 1 Lost Soul for turn, and then I used Jerusalem to reserve the top card of my deck. Even though I can't access my reserve, I'm just trying to get more cards in the reserve so Jerusalem can get more targets later on in the game. The New Covenant is one of the best cards in this deck. If you get it early, you can be pretty confident you have enough gas to continue playing the game. I love New Covenant until Angelic Guidance to get the hand information. Search deck for any silver card. Any silver card is a powerful phrase, right? My favorite targets are Golgotha, Angel of the Winds, Res Revealer. Because if you need defense, then you can just go play Golgotha, grab a Gospel Evil character, and you're good to go. So like my hand didn't have a lot of defense, but had a lot of offense. I'm going to use Angel of the Winds here and get to a hero that can actually play Lost Souls from the opponent's deck, which is Shepherds of Bethlehem. Normally, I don't get to play this guy in Nativity, but you have 100 cards and you might as well. And I know they don't have any evil characters, maybe. I forget. But just being able to get that Herod's Temple down makes this Herod's Guard a lot more threatening. If it was just, if I just had Herod's Guard in my hand and no Herod's Temple out, my blocks become a lot less powerful. Anyways, Anna's coming in. I get to grab a good card. I wasn't able to get hand disadvantage though, so I wasn't able to grab both of those. But we have an Outsiders and we have a Herod's Guard. Still wondering if I should keep Outsiders in this deck. We have Resurrection Revealer out negating neutrals. We have Jerusalem out there getting us card advantage, and we have Herod's Temple out, helping our Herods get good blocks. So we haven't gotten to our evil dominance yet. They're still in there. We just need to draw to them. So here comes Benaniah. Let's get our protected Herod Archelaus. Get to discard a good card from the reserve there, and then we're going to use Herod's Temple to make this a toss battle. He did activate Overtaken, so I have to kind of deal with that later this game. He burns a Crowd's Choice. He's trying to figure out what to do here, and there's a Woes that's probably going to negate Herod Archelaus. Surprised he decided to Angel there, because he was just dying by the number, right? Yeah, maybe he could have held on to Angel of the Lord there. He gets a Lost Soul, and then I put Moses in my reserve from Jerusalem, and I'm trying to figure out what I want. We'll get a Futile Inquisition, because Futile Inquisition plus Golgotha is really strong against Benaniah, and they've already played Angel of the Lord, so I get probably a good chance to play that. So I activate 20 shekels, look at his hand. It's full of 3 heroes and a weapon. One of the heroes is Jrob, which you can play as an evil character, so I decide to do that. And I know this is basically going to be free, but I can't attack with my normal card advantage heroes because they don't generate Lost Souls, so I have to push in with Shepherds. And it's really surprising that he blocked this with Jrob, because now I get to play Banding Enhancement, and I get to generate so much value here. So band to all of these heroes. Probably get like two dominance out of this at least. There's Anna grabbing 1 card. There's John. I can get to my Christian Martyr, which is great. Get to my Star of Bethlehem, which is amazing. I love how Messianic Messengers gets Star. Woman with Child grabs Glory, which can be really strong on defense. And then Res Revealer, maybe he's like, what's Res Revealer gonna do? Crowd's Choice gets you another evil card. So yeah, just really, why would you block that? Don't block if you don't, especially against a deck that really trying to use its offense to gain an advantage. I'm just gonna discard Outsiders here and all these good enhancements. Probably should have kept mediums around because I can get a prince off of the Crowd's Choice here. This is respectable. Discarding my, what did I discard? Discarded Hospitality there too. So yeah, some pretty brutal discards. And that's what can happen in this deck if you go too fast. Maybe I went a little too fast there. But even if I did go too fast, now I have Led Astray, Crowd's Choice, and Martyr. I didn't really have any of that last turn. So now my blocks are going to be a lot stronger. And I'm not too worried about my attacks since the opponent has so little in their hand for defense. So it looks like they're using Abishai banded to the new David here. The new David's cool. If I remember correctly, he says, if equipped, you may take a good OT Human Warrior from deck. So he gets to do that. And then he gets to band to a 2nd Samuel Warrior. So just a really solid card for purple decks. I know Jrob's been really looking forward to playing him. So let's see. I have a lot of options. Let's see what his attack is going to be. And okay, let's just use Herod the Great here. Lay a Herod out of our deck and then try to get initiative They could do Glory of the Lord here, which is what they have to stop the futile inquisition, but we have the Led Astray. So we force them to burn one of their dominants, and we can just play one of our dominants, and they're going to be really set back by that. Glory is one of their best cards on defense too, so getting that out of the way, plus not losing a soul there is just the definition of backbreaking. Let's see, do I want any of these cards? Probably Guardians here. They still have ways maybe to give their souls protection. So just that just kind of shuts that off. We're going to use 20 shekels to look at their hand. I don't think they had a sizable defense there. Put down our Guardians. We got to get ready for our attack here. Probably don't want to deploy the cross yet because we have so many dominants in our hand. Let's see, what am I doing here? I'm using Lost Child Found to bounce Golgotha, my Herod. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm using Golgotha to grab Temple Guard, playing Redemption to convert him to silver. I don't know. I don't know what brigade I was trying to get him to here. I think this was a little overzealous on my part. I don't have a banding enhancement to use with him. So I basically just kind of maybe burned 2 dominants for nothing. But at least I got to get rid of his Deceiver. So that's something. Yeah, I think I only have maybe 1 banding enhancement left in my deck. Would really love to have gotten to the 2nd seal this turn, but that's in my reserve and I don't really have good ways to do it. I'm going to decide to fire off this Star of Bethlehem to try and draw into my banding enhancement here. I don't think I have any ways to get it on top of my deck or anything like that. So we just kind of whiff there, but I don't think they can stop me, whatever, regardless. And even if I did find it, I have so many cards in my hand that even if I played and banded a bunch of heroes into battle, I've just dropped a 16 hand size limit and I probably have to discard a bunch in a turn. But I did give my guys protection, so I'm coming in here with Zechariah the Silent by himself. He's protected. Not sure what opponent can do if I've protected hero and I've protected souls. He's going to try to get Herod Antipas, which plays enhancements that are regardless of protection, but I had 2 ways to stop that. I had Angel and I had Glory. Decided to play Angel because Glory can be used on defense. And it's the opponent's turn. They activate their Overtaken. Oh yeah, I think I bounced their Overtaken last turn with Lost Child Found. Normally that's like a really scary card, but when you're playing Nativity, you have Lost Child Found, you have Mary Holy Virgin. If you're playing Big Clay, you have like Thomas or something. So ever since the rules changed where they made it so if you got rid of Overtaken during the battle phase and it would stop applying its effect, I feel like Overtaken's got a lot weaker. Because previously if you had it activated and they attacked with Mary, they got rid of it. Its effect would still linger for the phase, but they changed it. Let's see, what am I doing? What am I looking at? Was I looking at their discard pile to try and count how many dominants they've played? I think I'm just trying to figure out. So if they played Glory, if they played Angel of the Lord, I don't know what else can stop them from just me playing Futile Inquisition with the Golgotha out. So he's just grabbing a bunch of stuff from his deck. He has maybe 14 or 15 cards in his hand. Most of them are good. Most of them aren't going to do anything here. I'm going to use Herod the Great's random discard ability to discard Husham from their reserve. And then it's my initiative. I'm just going to play the Futile Inquisition. Futile Inquisition is a very, very good card. And it's the only evil enhancement I'm playing in my 110 cards. I play it in the reserve, but I'm also considering maybe playing 1 main deck. Even though Herods traditionally don't really get initiative that well, you do start to run out of options if opponents are attacking with large amounts of heroes. But if they are attacking with only 1 or 2 heroes, you have Christian Martyr falling away and CBN Prince. But if they're attacking with multiple heroes, you have like Led Astray, Burial, Herod Antipas, and then maybe like 1 chump block from Herod Antipas. But if you added another Futile Inquisition, it could just give you more chump blocks. Okay, so deciding to go grab a banding enhancement this time with my new Covenant. I love how this is gospel, so I'm just going to abandon all these heroes. So look at this value. Having a card that lets you play banding enhancements on a whim, it's like a banding on a stick. Like imagine if you had a hero that said, banned all New Testament heroes in play. Like how busted would that card be? But that's basically what we're doing here. And this is what you can kind of do. We have Simeon, we have Martha attacking the opponent's hand. Simeon doesn't do much because I have too many cards in hand. There might be something better you can do with these heroes because I'm not really letting opponents play evil enhancements. So there's a good chance that they just have stuff they can't really use in their hand. So when I do attack with Martha, Okay, pause. Okay, let's rewind. But opponent basically conceded at this point of the game. I had a way to get a Lost Soul out of their deck, and I had Son of God's Second Coming in my hand. So he just said, okay, you just want to stop this game and play another one? So I said, sure. But let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 heroes in battle. Not bad. Not bad at all. We got the final game 3-2. This one. So we're running it to another game here. I think we won the die roll again. A lot of souls. We have a strong block with Led Astray early. And we have a Moses that can basically help us take a mulligan here. So I have 3-star abilities. Let's shuffle Moses. Let's shuffle that Storehouse in, although I could see the argument for keeping Storehouse around. But I'm really just trying to get to more heroes that I can try to set up a big resurrection for. We're going to use Virgin Birth to look at the top 5. There's a resurrection on top that we put there with John, so we're going to grab that. Good thing I grabbed that because he had a delivered to snipe the top card of my deck. All right. I love just starting out turn 1, playing Angelic Guidance to look at their hand. They do not have any evil characters here, so this is going to be a free attack if I play around their Dole, which I forget to initially, but it ends up working out for me. So let's see, what can I do here? We can use Damascus to get an evil character, which will probably be just Deceiver at this point of the game. Having the ability to get Herod's Temple turn 1, Deceiver in your hand gives you a lot of Herod blocks. So we're going to use Angel of the Winds to go to deck for somebody who's our best value here. I do like Nicodemus here, yeah. Nicodemus draw 3, bans the Empty Tomb hero, which will ban a Res Revealer, gets to grab a Gospel Dominant, and now I can play Resurrection. So they would have got 2 Dole triggers there, but I told them I'm going to negate Dole this phase, so this will save us some time. Because I do have a John, the Forerunner in my hand, which negates Lost Souls, and I also got the Res Revealer, which negates Lost Souls too. So anyways, attacking, getting a Nativity card out of my hand, out of my deck, and so off that attack, we got our Crouch Choice, we got Star Bethlehem, and we drew some cards, I think, maybe. So now look at our hand. We got 6 Dominants and a Deceiver. You know, typically you would say 50 card decks are better to getting to dominance and having consistent play, but I would argue maybe that's not the case. Maybe 100 card decks do have the capabilities to get to dominance. You know, it's not like you're playing less dominance, you're playing the same ratio and you just get access to more dominance. So I think I'm really stuck on the 100 card type in type 1. I don't think I'm going to be going back to 50 card decks anytime soon. 100 card decks have been really fun to play and also competitive. They are more expensive to build, I will grant you that. But if you like playing type 2, then you can work towards a type 2 deck too. Like you could easily turn this Nativity deck into a type 2 deck. You just have to, so it's like an investment into different formats. So anyways, I wouldn't fault anyone for not wanting to run it because it is, yeah, if you're on a budget, I can't understand that. Okay, so what did I do? I went Deceiver to Herod, and then I used Herod's Temple to do a toss battle. That gave them a Thomas trigger. They got Son of God off of Thomas, but they should have got 3 Woes to negate Herod here. So now we're in stalemate. Now we go back. Even if they did use 3 Woes there, I could have used my Martyr or my Led Astray to put Benani in the bin, and I would have burned their 3 Woes. So that would have been really good too. Bethlehem Stable gets to grab Elizabeth, get our Nativity hero count up. Trying to think. I drew Temple Guard and I have Redemption. I just need a banding enhancement now. I could go get one with Crouch Choice. Looks like that's what I'm doing. I don't think I have anyone to resurrect here. Maybe I do. I think this is the first time me actually playing Redemption in a game. Anyways, maybe it's the second, I forget. So I'm using Crouch Choice to get Angelic Guidance to scope out what their hand is, and then using Angelic Guidance to grab a silver card from my deck, which is the banding enhancement for Temple Guard. So basically I'm scouting and now I'm ready to attack. What are they doing? I don't know what they just did there. So I'm going to attack with Temple Guard. I'm going to play a Nativity character from the reserve and ban to all my heroes and their Thomas for good measure. Because if they use a search ability, I get to search my deck for dominant. I could convert Thomas to Meek here, but I don't know. It feels like they've used a lot of their good dominance, so Thomas isn't going to do much. They have more cards in hand than me, so I get to use Joseph, and now I just get to start cashing in on all this value here, getting up to like 16 cards in hand. There is some tension with playing cards that draw a lot of cards and also Nativity cards that care about how many cards you have in your hand. But I think it works out at the end of the day. If you have 16 cards in your hand, I think you have good problems. And then Mary's gonna hit off the Overtaken and grab Futile Inquisition. Mary can grab evil star cards from your reserve, so if you ever need some more defense, like we're good on offense, we just need more defense at this point. So we have so many new cards. Let's see what they have here. Crowd's choice for what are they gonna grab? I'm not protecting souls, so it is possible for them to stop me with some sort of soul protection card here, like a Prince of the Air, be really strong, I think. And maybe if I was trying to play around that, maybe I use Star Bethlehem to top deck a dominant and then play my Guardians of Your Souls right there. But anyways, so they're going to negate somebody and then they're going to play Glory. But I think I have an out. I can go Star Bethlehem, top deck a dominant, and then draw a bunch of cards. And I draw that dominant. So I'm going to be drawing Three Woes. I'm going to play Three Woes to negate their character, and then I get the soul. So it worked out not playing Star Bethlehem too early. Maybe another reason why you don't want to play it too early because in the past, because of Herdsman of Gurar, but I know he's on Herds. Another thing you have to be careful about in this Nativity deck is attacking and drawing too many cards and then blocking with Foreign Wives. Like, you don't have a lot of answers to that. You could run Plague of Frogs in here. That was the 101st card that was in my deck, but I ended up cutting it. My reasoning for that was, let's say, you know, you attack, draw a bunch of cards, and they end up blocking with Wives. You have, let's say you do have the Plague of Frogs. You can play that, you put some in special initiative, and then my concern is, what if they have a single negate? Okay, they say, okay, Foreign Wives is in special initiative, then I get to play my negate to negate your Plague of Frogs. Like what am I going to do? My deck doesn't play negates. Traditionally, like what? I play banding enhancements. I play Lost Child Found. So I guess I could like Lost Child Found bounce bounce my Plague of Frogs and then replay it. So I don't know, maybe I could see Plague of Frogs being in here. It's just like super situational. You're only going to need it if they're running Foreign Wives. And with this deck, you can play around them having Foreign Wives between 20 shekels attacking their hand and Magnificat attacking their reserve. But yeah, maybe if you're trying to play around that. So anyways, opponent attacked with Benaniah. I blocked with Herod Archelaus. They used the Woes to negate him. And then they angeled him, but then I just martyred. So I think every like attack and block this game, opponent has been playing their dominance in battle, trying to win the battle. But then I just have the answer. So they trade dominance and they're not even getting souls out of it. Or on defense, they're trying to stop me with their dominance. Even that's not stopping me. So it's just a very much, it's like a very losing situation. So the score hasn't updated, but I think I played Son of God's Second Coming like last turn, so I should have 3 here. So the score should be 3-2. It sounds like they played Son of God's Second Coming. So sorry that the score is not updated, but we're just going to casually get to my second seal and add, I think we have like 15 heroes in battle. Good. I'm glad that we can do this. This is fun and balanced. Get to attack their hand, get rid of evil cards, toss the next, draw a billion cards. Up to 16 in hand. Oh no. I think the thing I messed up this turn is I did not grab a Possessing Spirit out of my reserve. And so I could have had the perfect turn of getting Possessing Spirit, putting it on their temple or something, and then using Second Seal to force them to add it to battle. But I think it's just because I'm kind of new to this deck. I forgot to do that. But anyways, we just have just a few characters in battle by turn 3 or whatever turn this is. And we have John the Fisherman tossing the next. So they probably have like a no straw. So we get to toss their horses, but we're just going to angel their guy and not let them play anything. And then all of our heroes get to go home after being victorious. We are pretty set up to close out the game here. It's 4-2. Too many cards in her hand. Okay, what do you guys think? Should I cut Faith Unbowed, put Plague of Frogs in here? Faith Unbowed, like you could run Magnificat. I play 1 in the reserve. You could cut Faith Unbowed, put another Magnificat. There's just a solid battle winner. But I was thinking like, okay, maybe there's going to be times where people get rid of my white heroes in battle. I'm just going to be stuck with silver. Maybe like I'll want to have those turns where I can use my silver heroes with a battle winner. But I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking. If I had a Daniel character, that'd be amazing. But yeah, I don't know. There are also like situations where you're trying to toss somebody down. Like let's say, or the great blocks and brings a silver guy into battle. Tossing for 4 is pretty good. All right, so they have a guy. They've used a search ability. I'll just use Prince plus Judean mediums to CB and underdeck them. This is what I'm saying about this deck is really strong against lone heroes in the late game because I just have so many answers to them. It's the multiple heroes that I think are a little bit more problematic. So I could add abandonment in here, but oftentimes heroes are protected. All right, well, that's all the gameplay we're going to do today. I do have some more games of Nativity versus Jrob, but my voice is tiring out a little bit. Need a little break. Played a lot of Redemption today, and I hope you got a little glimpse of the possibilities that Nativity, big Nativity, can add to the table. And it's going to be a deck I'm going to keep working on. Maybe I'll even run it at Nationals. I just like how it doesn't lose to Guardians of Your Souls like Big Clay does. And I think it has the capability to beat almost anything. Maybe it's not as fast, but certainly you can catch back up if you get a Star Bethlehem and have like 4 Bethlehem heroes out. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will see you guys around.